Hi everybody, this next section is going to be overcoming objections, all of the most common objections you're going to have while you're building your Primerica business. There's going to be several of them, and we're going to do different topics. We're going to start with when you're calling your warm market and some of the objections that might come up in doing that.
So what is it, Hector? I mean, what's this all about? What are you getting into?
Well, I'm getting into the financial service business. It has to do with helping people, structure a financial plan so they can retire, get out of debt, have more options, make more money, and be free financially. I mean, obviously, I think that would be something that would be really important to you and Denise, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Well, then that's what it's about. When can we get together?
Maybe sometime next week.
So what day is generally better for you? I mean, I've got Wednesday or Thursday open next week. Which day works best for you?
Thursday's good.
Thursday's good. Great. It's like 6 o'clock or 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock's good.
8's great. All right, fantastic. I want to make sure Denise is there.
Okay.
And I'll see you guys on Thursday at 8 o'clock. Can't wait to see you, man.
That sounds good.
Hey Hector, what's this company all about? What's the company?
Well, it's a company called Primerica, Financial Services. Have you heard of it?
I just probably heard the name, that's about it.
Yeah, okay. Well, then what we do is we help people, put together a financial plan so they can retire sooner, get out of debt, have more options, make more money, be financially in much, much better shape. That's something that you and Viviana want to be anyways, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. We just want to come over and talk to you about that.
Okay, great.
All right. So what day's better for you?
Most likely like a Thursday afternoon.
Thursday afternoon, 5, 6 o'clock. Does that work for you?
6 o'clock.
Perfect. Okay. See you 6 o'clock on Wednesday then.
Great, thank you. Well, Hector, I've heard about Primerica, and I've had a friend of mine that tried it, and they weren't really pleased with it. So
Right.
I'm not quite sure about this.
Yeah, well, that's not uncommon. Sometimes when people get associated with the wrong person and they've had an experience, it's kind of like, have you ever been to a restaurant and you've been there 2 or 3 times and it was really good, and then all of a sudden you got involved with a waiter or waitress that had a bad attitude or something, and the experience wasn't quite as good that time. Has that ever happened to you before?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, okay, well then that's probably what happened here. You probably just ran across somebody that just wasn't very good. Didn't have the right attitude. So that wouldn't, negate the fact that there's potentially great opportunity and a chance for you to be helped, right?
No.
Right, so why don't you take a look at it? If it's not for you, then, that's fine, no problem. If it is, it is.
Okay.
I'm not asking you to make any big commitments right now. I just really want to talk to you about it first, and then you can decide after you get all the facts. Is that fair enough?
That sounds fair.
Okay, great.
Okay, great, thanks.
You know what, Hector? I got so much. It's so many things going on right now with the kids. They're in in sports, and Denise has been working late lately. So I just don't even know when we could get together. We're just really busy right now.
Well, I understand. Usually when people are really busy, usually the real issue, though, is that they're really concerned that I'm going to come over and try to sell them something they don't want or need. We're going to waste their time. I mean, that's really usually what people are feeling. Are you kind of feeling that way?
Well, I mean, maybe a little bit, but we're just kind of busy.
Yeah, because if you knew I was going to come over, I was going to save you tons of money and help you get out and retire, 10 or 15 years sooner, and you were going to just be in incredible shape. Obviously, you'd make time to meet with me, right?
Yeah, I guess I would.
All right. Well, listen, when we get together, I promise you, I give you my word, it will absolutely not be a waste of your time. You're going to get so much information, so much of value. It's going to have the potential to dramatically change your life financially. I promise you that. And when I saw this initially, man, I was just blown away with how much they were able to do for me and for other people that I've met with. And I know you don't know that right now because you haven't seen it. You don't even know what it is. Why don't you do this? Why don't you talk to Denise? Let's figure out a time that we can get together. It's not going to take a long time. It's going to take 20, 30 minutes. You can squeeze that in somewhere, can't you?
Sure, right. I guess I could.
Yeah. Of the days, I know you're really busy. Which day's better than another? I mean, there's got to be in a week.
Well, usually probably the weekend would be probably better for us. Yeah.
How about the afternoon, like Saturday afternoon? Does that work for you? Like 2 or 3 o'clock?
Yeah, maybe later in the afternoon.
Yeah. Like 3, 4?
Yeah, about 4 o'clock would be
Okay,
good.
4 o'clock. We'll pop by. We won't waste a lot of your time. You're not going to be hung up all day. It's just going to be a little bit, okay? And then you'll see it, and then I promise you, you're going to be really, really impressed when you see it. Okay?
All right.
All right, great. I'll see you Saturday at 4 o'clock then, all right?
Sounds good.
Great.
Well, Hector, Biv and I, we really don't want to buy anything. I think we're okay right now. But, thanks anyways.
Well, great. Listen, the last thing I'm going to ask you to do is buy something. I mean, if you see something you like and you want to take advantage of it, Juan, that's fine. That's up to you. You can do that. But look, if there is a potential for you to, retire 5 or 10 years sooner, a chance for you to maybe get out of debt completely so you don't have any debt, and really put yourself in tremendous financial shape so you have a lot more options for you, for your kids, for your family, wouldn't it make sense to, put aside, 20, 30 minutes to find out about that?
Well, I mean, I guess just to look at it.
Yeah, just to look at it. I'm not asking, I'm not going to ask you to do anything. I'm not going to be capable of getting you to do something you don't want anyways. You know that. And I would never use our relationship to get you to do something you don't want. All right, I would never do that. You know me better than that.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to just show you, make up your own mind. Once you get all the information, if you see something you like, fantastic, you can take advantage. And if you don't worry about it.
Okay.
Or maybe you'll see something that somebody else really needs, and you can point me in that direction. It doesn't really matter. I don't want you to feel any pressure. I need some help. I need to, I'm really working hard to expand my business, and I'm thinking about quitting my job and doing this as a full-time career. And I really want your opinion. Would you please mind helping me out?
Yeah, okay.
All right, great. So what day's better for you? You got I've got Wednesday or Thursday open next week. Which day works for you?
Wednesday works better.
Fantastic. Like 6, 8?
8 o'clock.
8's better? Okay, great. Well, then I'll see you in Biv, 8 o'clock next Wednesday, okay?
Great, thanks.
All right, great. See you then, buddy.
Okay, bye.
So Hector, you're going to come over. I really don't have a lot of time right now, but how long, more or less, is this going to take?
Well, it just depends on you, Martin. I mean, it could take 20 minutes or it could take an hour. If you have a lot of questions and you see, the kind of value that I think you're going to see, it may take a little longer than 20 minutes, or it's up to you. One thing I'm going to say for certain, right, it's going to be dependent on you. You're going to make that decision. If you really like what you see, you're really excited about it, and I believe you're going to be, because I know I was when I saw it. It may take, a little longer than that, but you decide. You think you could break away for 15, 20 minutes just so I can give you an overview? You can see what it's all about and get more details, and then, we'll go from there. All right?
I guess we could spare that time.
Right. So, listen, you're going to be in charge. You're going to dictate how long it's going to be, and if you like what you see, it'll be longer. If you don't, then we'll be out of there. I think that you're going to be pretty impressed by what you see when we get together. In fact, I'm confident of that.
Okay.
So what day's better for you? I've got a couple days open next week, Monday and Wednesday. Which day's better?
Monday's good.
Monday's good. 6,
Yeah.
8?
8 o'clock.
8, fabulous. See you then, buddy.
All right, then.
Okay, these are some of the objections you're going to come up when you're out prospecting, and this is how you deal with them.
Well, Hector, it was nice meeting you. I mean, the business that you're talking about, well, what is it? What's it all about?
Well, it's the financial service business. Basically what we do is real simple. We show people how to get completely debt-free, how to pay off their house, how to pay off their cars, how to pay off all their credit card debt, and get completely debt-free in a pretty short period of time, sometimes as little as 10 years or less.
Okay.
Another thing we do is we show people how to make sure that they're investing properly for retirement, that they're in the exact appropriate kinds of investments for them and their family, so that they're not making mistakes, so they can have a much better result in terms of their investment and retirement accounts. We make sure that they have the proper amount of protection on their family in different areas to make sure that they got their family covered. And really, the bottom line is just having some kind of a plan so that you're not just, you know, kind of hoping things work out. You actually know they're going to work out financially. I mean, obviously, do you have a plan like that that's really specific, that's really clear, that delineates exactly what you should and shouldn't be doing in all areas of your life? Do you have that already established?
No, we don't have anything in place at this time.
I mean, you seem like the kind of person that's pretty conscientious. I mean, I would guess, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that you would be the kind of person that would want to have something like that. Am I right?
Well, we have some like retirement accounts at work, like a 401k, and
Good.
you know, my wife has some at work
Good.
as well.
Great.
You know, so we have those set up.
Yeah, but you don't have a whole comprehensive plan, debt elimination, retirement, college education for your kids, all the things in a really comprehensive plan. You don't have that set up right now?
Not exactly like that.
Right.
No.
So if you could have one of those and have it done complementary, obviously that would make sense to do that, wouldn't you agree?
Well, yeah, complimentary, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, well then
Yeah.
that's what I'd like to offer you.
Okay.
So what would be a good day for you guys to, you know, could you set aside a half hour, 45 minutes sometime in the, you know, in the next week or so, I could pop by and just visit with you a little bit?
Sure. Next week, you know, give me a call and we'll set something up.
Well, why don't we do that right now? I mean, we're on the phone right now. What day's generally better than another? Is it a Wednesday, a Thursday, if, you know, Tuesday?
Thursdays are usually better for me.
Thursdays are good for you. I mean, I would imagine you probably eat dinner around 5 or 6, so maybe
Yes.
8 o'clock. Would that work for you?
8's better.
8's
yeah.
better? Okay, so then why don't we plan on 8 o'clock next Wednesday, and then, you know, you just give me your address, and I'll just put it in that MapQuest thing, and I'll find out how to get there, okay?
Okay, great.
All right, great.
Thanks.
Look forward to seeing you. I think you're going to be really excited about what I'm going to share with you.
All right. Well, thanks for calling.
Sure, you're welcome.
So what is it, Hector? I mean, what kind of business is this?
Well, you know, what we do is really simple, and it's actually pretty exciting. And what we do, what we would be doing, what you would be doing if you got involved, is we show people, help them put together a plan to get completely debt-free, how to pay off their homes, their cars, everything in a really short period of time, sometimes as little as 10 years or less, I mean, depending on the situation. We also show them how to make sure that they're investing in the exact appropriate way for their particular situation so they can retire sooner, so they can retire with more money, so they can, if they have kids and they want to send them to college, they can have, you know, formulate a plan to put their kids in college. And the bottom line is just to have a really in-game written plan so that they can get where they want to go financially. That's what we fundamentally do. And one of the great things about it, it's incredible because we do the actual plan complimentary. And people are, when they see it, they're super receptive to it because, you know, nobody's offering anything quite like it for the middle market. That's what we do.
Okay.
Okay. So when can we get together then? Is there one day that's better than another for you to get together?
Yeah, generally, like, I usually get home in the evenings.
Okay.
It's like
I
maybe
mean,
Thursday
Monday to
night.
Thursday is usually when I see clients. Is there like one day, like
Probably
Monday,
Thursday
Tuesday?
night, evening.
Thursday night?
Yeah.
Okay. 8? Does that work for you?
8 o'clock's good.
8 o'clock's
yeah.
good? Okay, great. So then why don't you just give me your address and, you know, we'll plan on 8 o'clock.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay?
Oh, you know what? Is this Primerica?
Actually, it is. Yes,
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
I've heard of you guys. No, you know what? I'm not really interested because I'm not in sales or anything like that. So a couple of my friends tried it and they just had a negative experience with it. So no, it's not for me.
So they didn't do well, or what happened exactly? Do you know?
No, they got involved and I know they didn't make any money. They just they cost them like a couple $100 to get started or something like that. But
Right.
they just didn't do well. They were trying to get appointments with all our friends and stuff, and it's not something I want to do.
If it ever crossed your mind that the people they were being trained by weren't very good and they didn't know what they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, possibly that could have happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, listen. I mean, you seem like the kind of guy that would make decisions based on, you know, taking a look at the facts themselves. I mean, obviously you have friends and some other people that do it. You're making a decision based on secondhand experience or secondhand comments, and that to me doesn't make sense. That would be a good way to make a decision whether something was for you or not. Would you agree with that? I mean, would you agree that
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, because you seem to me like the kind of guy that you would make a decision based on facts that you personally investigated. Am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, why don't we do this? Look, I'm not asking you to make any kind of commitment. I would just like to share it with you. I like to show you what we do. I don't know who they were with. I don't know what happened to them before. All I know is in my business, I've had an amazing amount of success. I have a lot of people that have been very successful. I have, in our organization, we have, just in my organization, we have probably 150 people that make well over $100,000 a year. There's 4 or 5 people that make over $1 million a year and everything in between that. So even though your friends may have had a negative experience, that doesn't mean that necessarily they can't be there could be a good experience, right?
Yeah, you're right.
They may have just run across the wrong people. Why don't you give me a chance to sit down and show you what we do, and then show you the way we operate, the way we do things, and then you can make a decision after that. How's that?
Okay, sounds
Would you be
fair.
open to that?
Yeah, I'll be open to that.
Okay, great. So is there one day better than another? I mean, I usually do appointments, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Is there any day better than
Tuesday.
Tuesday's good.
Very good.
Okay,
yeah.
great, fantastic. 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock's good.
8, fantastic. Okay, well then I'll see you at 8 o'clock then, and I think you're going to be impressed. I mean, even though you've heard those things, believe me, I think you haven't heard the whole story.
Okay.
Okay?
We'll see.
All right, great. Look forward to it.
Hector, thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing, but I'm really not interested. Not right now. I'm not interested.
Okay, I understand that. I mean, that's totally good. Let me ask you a question. Are you planning on staying where you're at forever? I mean, is that what you plan on doing for the rest of your career? Is what you're doing currently?
Well, I mean, I enjoy my career right now,
You
but
do? Okay.
I'd like to eventually, venture on my own.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you are thinking about doing something on your own then at some
Absolutely,
point. Yeah,
yeah.
you've thought about that.
Yeah, I want to run
Right.
my own business.
Okay, well, great. Well, you may not be interested, but one of the things, just talking to you, I know you're a professional, you're an engineer, you're doing well already. Obviously, somebody like you has a lot of credibility with the people that they know. And I would like to kind of give you more information and share it with you, not with the intention of you getting involved. You may or may not want to, I don't know. But one of the things I'm always doing is I'm looking for people to kind of network with to see if they may be willing to help me and maybe me help them if I can. Would you mind if I just we sat down for 20 minutes or so over a cup of coffee? I could give you a little more detail on exactly what it is, how we operate, what the opportunity is. And then, if you like it, great, that's not a problem. I can understand right now the timing's not good for you, but maybe you can point me in the direction of somebody that may be interested or that's looking for an opportunity, that wants to do something different than what they're doing right now, because God knows most people are not happy with where they're at, even though you may be. Okay. Other people aren't. And I would love to, have us develop some sort of a relationship where we can help each other down the road. Would you mind freeing up 20 minutes or so for a cup of coffee and allow me to sit down and go over some information with you?
Yeah, I'll only have about 15, 20 minutes that I could spare.
Yeah,
so.
that's fine. That's all
Okay.
I need. It won't take long, just a few minutes. I think
right.
I can get you all the information you need in that period of time, and then, you can go from there. Okay?
Yeah. Why don't you come by my office and we'll meet during my break time or something?
Okay, so what day, is there one day this week that you got a little more freedom?
Wednesday's good for me.
Wednesday's good, okay.
Yeah.
So break time is what time?
Typically I do at 9 o'clock in the morning.
So maybe 9 to 9:15 or so?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll be there a little early and make sure I don't waste any of your time. I look
Okay.
forward to it. Thank you so much for meeting with me. I think you're gonna be really impressed.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Great.
Well, Hector, let me talk to Biv and I'll, give me a call, someday like tomorrow or so, because she's not home right now.
Okay, great, no problem. I tell you what, listen, I know you're really busy, you guys are running around, you're hectic. Why don't we do now, let me set up a tentative appointment. You can talk to Viviana, and then after you talk to her, then, if there's an issue with that, you call me back, we will schedule it for another time. What's generally a good day for you guys?
I know we're pretty busy this week. Next week will probably be the best.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
Tuesday.
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 Okay, so you probably do dinner around 5 or 6, right?
Yes.
So let's say 8 o'clock on Tuesday. Does that work for you?
8 o'clock sounds good, but like I said, I
Yeah,
have
absolutely. I'm going to just pencil it in, and then if you have an issue, here's my number. Give me a call. If it doesn't work, then we'll change it for another day.
Okay.
Okay? Does
Okay,
that work?
great.
Okay, great. Fantastic.
Thanks.
Right.
You know what, Hector? I already have somebody that takes care of all that, all our finances for us. He's been doing a great job for a long time, and I think we're pretty good for now. But thank you for your,
Okay,
your
great.
interest.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is this the first guy you've worked with ever, or have you had other ones before?
No, this is the first guy we've worked with.
Oh, okay, great. So you've never had a second opinion on any of the stuff you're doing?
No, but he's doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. If you had an illness of some sort and you went to a doctor and they give you a prognosis, would you get two opinions or just one?
I would probably get two.
Yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing before you do anything that's important in your life, right?
Right.
So why don't we do this? I know this guy's really good. I know you like him. He's doing a great job. Do me a favor. Why don't you allow me to just give you another point of view? You can take a look at it. If what you're doing now is perfect and it's working well, then of course you're not going to make a change at all. But what if there was an opportunity for you to improve significantly upon what you're currently doing? Wouldn't it make sense for you to explore that?
Yeah, I guess it would.
Right, okay, that's all I'm asking you is just explore it, take a look at it, and then if it makes sense for you to make some sort of a change, then we'll go for it. It won't take a lot of time. I know one of the things is that you're a very busy person. You don't want to waste your time. I promise you right away you're going to figure out you're not wasting time. For example, right now, do you have, as part of your plan, do you have a very comprehensive debt elimination strategy set up as part of your plan?
Well, our debt's going to be paid off pretty soon. I mean, 15 years on my mortgage right now. So
Yeah. Okay, so, and you have any other debt?
no, that's
Yeah.
part of it.
So if you could pay that off in 10 years or 8 years versus 15, would that, and it potentially save you 25, 50,000 more in interest, would that be worth exploring?
Yeah, it would.
Okay, well that's one of the things that we specialize in. So why don't we do this? Why don't you let me give you a second opinion, and if it makes any sense for you to change, you can. Of course, that's up to you. You're going to make that decision. I'm not going to make that for you. And if you're doing everything right, then you'll know for sure. And if anybody else calls you, you'll know that you're doing everything right. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, great. So, is there one day better than another for us to get together?
Typically Wednesdays are pretty good.
Wednesdays are pretty good. Okay, great. So I'd say 8 o'clock. Does that work for you?
Yeah, that's good.
All right, great. Then we'll see you 8 o'clock Wednesday.
Okay.
All right.
Hector, you know what? I already have somebody that's handling everything for us. He's doing a great job.
Yeah, okay, well, good. That's good for you. That's great. That's good that most people don't have somebody. Let me ask you a question. Is this the first guy you've ever had, or have you had other ones before him?
No, we've had another one. And
Oh, really?
This guy's doing such a better job.
I'm curious, why did you make a change from the first one to the second one?
Well, the second guy just showed us how to save even more money and how to get us on track to retire even sooner.
So he improved upon what you were currently doing.
Yes.
So let me ask you, if you were willing to take a look to improve before, why would you be opposed to taking a look to improve again even further?
I guess you're right.
I mean, and just to take a look. I mean, if it doesn't improve your situation, then of course you don't have to do anything. But if it does, you'd want to at least improve your situation again like you did the last time, right?
Yeah, right.
All right, so why don't we get together for a few minutes, explore that, see what happens.
Okay.
All right, what day's good for you? I've got Wednesday or Thursday open. Is there one day better than another?
Yeah, Wednesday's usually
Wednesday?
generally
How
better.
about 8?
8 o'clock's good.
8's good. Fantastic. Okay, I'll see you at 8 o'clock on Wednesday then.
Okay.
Well, Hector, thanks for calling me. I appreciate, you getting in touch with Biv and I, but right now I'm just really not interested for, looking at your services.
Well, let me ask you a question. Right now, do you have a plan already that's completely comprehensive, that's going to get you, one of the things I find is that people a lot of times are kind of averse to getting together with me only because they think I'm going to get together, I'm going to waste their time, they don't want to go through the hassle of that. And so what they do is they'll tell me, I'm just not interested. But let me ask you a question. If there was an opportunity for you to maybe pay your mortgage off, 5 or 10 years sooner than you're currently on pace to, there was an opportunity for you to retire sooner because you were able to save money at a better rate of return and really get your financial, situation in just premium shape, and just have an overall plan that just gets you where you want to go a lot faster, where your quality of life's improved, you have a lot more options, a lot more choices. I mean, I'm not really clear why you wouldn't want to take advantage of an opportunity like that. Can you explain to me why that would be?
Well, I mean, I'm set up with my retirement accounts at work. I have my 401k. My wife does too.
Good.
We're in a 15-year loan, and we probably have about 13 years left on the
Good.
loan.
Okay.
And other than that, we really don't have any debt. So I think we're doing pretty good. That's why.
Yeah. And so when was the last time you took a really close look at your investment portfolio and actually what the balance was and how you were invested? Do you know what that is exactly? Do you know if it's exactly the correct thing for your particular situation and your investment tolerance?
Well, like I said, I have my 401k at work. I do have investments. They're pretty aggressive. So, I think we're on track to retire by the time I'm age 60, 65 or so.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't you rather retire at 55?
Well, yeah, who wouldn't, right?
Well, then, I mean, if there was a way that you could do that, you'd want to find out about that, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Well, that's what I specialize in.
Okay.
Why don't you let me come by, take a look? I'm very confident I can help you retire sooner than that.
Okay.
Every year sooner is better, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, so why don't we get together, explore that, and see what we can do with that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thanks.
So what day's better for you, Wednesday, Thursday? You just go over what the day is and set the appointment.
Okay, thanks.
Hector, everything sounds pretty good, but why don't you just go ahead and mail me a brochure or something, and let me take a look at that.
Yeah, I could do that. The problem was the brochure, is not going to make nearly as much sense as me sitting down and explaining what we're doing. So you may get probably an inappropriate view of what you're going to be looking at, because it's not going to be as complete as what I would be able to do if I were to actually share it with you. So, but the real issue for me is when somebody tells me that, Martin, what they're really saying to me is, Hector, I think that you're going to come over and waste my time and try to sell me something I don't want or need, and I'm too busy. I just don't didn't need to waste any time. Is that kind of what you're really feeling?
Well, maybe a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. That's usually what it is, because obviously, if you knew I was going to come over, help you retire 5 or 10 years sooner, I was going to help you save, double your retirement account and improve your quality of life, significantly, you'd be calling me to set up an appointment, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, of course you would. All right, so really the issue is you don't really believe that's going to happen. Well, let's do this, okay? Why don't we meet for, say, 15, 20 minutes? I'll give you an overview of what we're going to be doing. I guarantee you, when you see what we do and what we can do and what we've done for other clients, you're going to be very impressed, all right? And if I can't convince you in that short a period of time, then I'll just leave, okay? I won't waste your time. I won't waste any of your time. Wouldn't you agree that it'd be worth your time to invest 15, 20 minutes to potentially retire sooner, to potentially have a lot more income in your retirement account, or money in your retirement account with a lot more retirement income? Wouldn't it make sense to find out about that before you say no?
Yeah, I guess it would.
All right, so then let's do that. Let's just give yourself a chance to do that. Would you do that?
Sure.
Okay, great. So what day's good for you? I've got, Wednesday, Thursday open next week. Is one of those days work for you?
Yeah, Thursday.
Fabulous. All right, I'll see you Thursday.
Well, Hector, right now with the holidays coming up, we have family coming in from out of town, so I'd rather spend more time with them, and why don't you just give me a call after the holidays?
Okay, well, great. I understand that. Why don't we do this? All I need is a little bit of information from you. Why don't we set up a little quick appointment? I'll come by, I'll gather all the information. That way I can start working on putting together a plan for you and a proposal, and then after the holidays we'll get together and I'll have everything prepared and we'll just save another trip. So is there a time that we can get together for, maybe a half an hour or so between now and in say next Saturday or next Sunday? I mean, just a short time just to pop by and I can just kind of get the information real quick from you. Does that work for you?
Yeah, well, just about like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it wouldn't take
Okay.
very long. And if we just get right to the point, in fact, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to need to see when I get there. I'll just
Okay.
get the information, I'll be on my way, and then, when it makes more sense for you, when you got some time freed up, we'll get together.
Okay.
All right?
Okay,
All right, great.
sounds good,
And then
thanks.
go ahead and set up the appointment, get a time and day to do that.
Okay.
You know what, Hector? Everything sounds really good, but the way my time is right now, it's just really limited. I just don't really, I don't see the, being able to have the time for this.
Well, Martin, we were doing, I was going through this. I asked you all those questions. I asked you about what you really wanted to do. You said you wanted to live by the beach. You said that you wanted to, drive that, Continental GT.
Oh,
You
yeah.
told me about, kind of the things you want to do from a charitable standpoint. You want to put your kids through college and pay for that. Your daughter's 15 years old already right now, so she's 3 years to doing it. You haven't really done a lot in those areas, and you really want to improve your quality of life. And Denise said the same thing. And I'm presenting an opportunity for you to do that. That works. That I know that you guys would be successful at. Wouldn't it make sense for you to make some time to change your life? I mean, you said you wanted to change your life. I mean, do you not want to change your life?
No, I do. I do.
Okay, so then would it make sense for you to work some time in there, rearrange your schedule a little bit to make that happen?
Well, how much time would I need to invest?
Well, you don't need a lot of time in the beginning. I mean, if you could invest 10 or 15 hours a week, a couple hours here, a couple hours there, Saturday morning, it's not a tremendous amount of time we were talking about in order for you to change your life, I mean, to get started. So, because you know as well as I, if you don't make some changes, nothing in your life's going to change, right?
Right.
If you don't make some sacrifices, there's no way for you to get where you want to go unless you are committed to make some sort of an investment of time and energy. I mean, it's just not going to happen because, you've been doing what you're doing now. You're with Frito-Lay. You've been with them for the last how many years now?
9.5.
9.5 years. Okay. So, are you anywhere where you want to be after 9.5 years of committing to that company?
No.
No, of course not. And so the next 2 years, 5 years, what's going to change?
Nothing.
Not much, right? It's not going to change a lot. Now I have an opportunity in front of you, which you agree is fantastic. You're going to be a client. You know that it works. You know that it's good, right? It's good for people. Come on, be honest with me. Why would you not at least work in, 10 hours a week or 15 hours a week to do that if you have the potential to double, triple your income and change your life?
You're right.
Yeah, come on. Let me help you get where you want to go. Would you let me help you get where you want to go?
All right.
All right? All
What do
right.
we need to do?
All right, this is what we need to do.
Well, Hector, right now I have two little ones, a 4 and a 2-year-old, and time is precious to me. So I really don't want to spend too much time away from them. I want to enjoy my kids while they're young.
Yeah, I understand that. I totally understand that. So they're young, 2 and 4 years old.
Sure.
So if there were the potential for you to get yourself in a position where you could have your own business, make your own time, and have even more time with them, I mean, isn't that something that you'd want to do? I mean, because you talked to me about owning your own business. At
Yes.
some point, you're going to have to make that decision to do that, right?
Yes.
I mean, sooner or later, and your kids are they're going to just get older and older, right? So the way I see it is this, okay? If you were to get involved with this and you got busy and over the next couple of years you really got your business moving, your kids would still be 4 and 6. They're still very, very young. You could get yourself to a point in that period of time where you could probably make a transition, where you could make that transition and make a lot more time. So you may have to sacrifice a little bit for a short period of time, but think about the ramifications of that over the long haul, over the next 10, 20 years. You're in a position where you own your own business, you have no limits on your income, you have a chance to control your time completely. I mean, wouldn't that be worth getting yourself to that point? Wouldn't that be worth investing some time right now and making some extra time, 10, 15, maybe even 20 hours a week to do that?
Well, yeah, now that you put it like that, yeah.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So, why don't you explore, let's do this, okay? This is the best way to do it because a lot of times people, when they're kind of hesitant, what they're really saying is, I'm not sure I can do it. I'm not sure this is going to pay off.
Okay.
Let's do this, okay? Let's get you started part-time. Let's go on some appointments. Let me prove to you how this works.
Okay.
And how it can work and how you can do it. I think once you see me in operation, you see me sitting down with other clients, you see what I'm able to do, you see that you're going to be able to do this, you're going to feel much differently about this. You're going to feel like, oh, I can see this. I can see the potential. I can see how I can make this happen. Let's at least try that, okay?
Okay.
All right, great.
Thanks.
Hector, is this a pyramid thing? You know, that sounds like one of those multi-level pyramid things.
What's a pyramid thing? What's your concept of a pyramid thing?
Well, you know, when you get you gotta get a bunch of people in, and then people make money off of the people, and then the person on the bottom ends up getting screwed.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you how you were Frito-Lay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how does that work? I mean, are there anybody in your business that is below you in terms of compensation or what they do?
Yeah, the warehouse.
The warehouse
workers,
people.
yeah.
Okay, so there's warehouse people, there's drivers, and then above the drivers, who would there be?
District manager.
District managers, and then above the district managers, there's what?
A zone manager.
Zone managers, and then there's what?
An area vice president.
Area vice president, and then there's what?
The president of the
The
company.
president of the company. So the president of the company is what? He's the guy at the top of the pyramid?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. He's the guy at the top, right? So everybody else makes less money. So what's the chances of you going from a truck driver to the president of the company?
Like zero.
Like zero. All right. So you can see what happens is there's always in every corporation, in every entity, right? Every company, doesn't matter. Even in the public, like government, it's still the same thing. There's people at different levels and people at the top that make a lot more money. So what happens? That doesn't make it a pyramid. That makes it a business. That's how all businesses operate. There's no business that operate like that, you know. And what do? Doesn't your company recruit new people into the company all the time at different levels?
All the
Aren't they
time.
looking for people all the time?
Yeah, they are.
Constantly, right? So what does that make them? Multi-level company? You know,
Not
a
really.
pyramid?
No.
Of course not. It's ridiculous. It's the way every company in the world operates. They all operate that same way, right? So the point is, but the problem with most corporations like where you work right now, that there's no chance you could go from a truck driver to the president. In Primerica, if you get involved and you're really industrious, you work hard, you're motivated, you know, you pay a price. You can go from being, you know, where you are right now, just at the beginning, to one of the highest paid top, you know, regional vice president or national sales directors in our company. Nothing can stop you from doing that but yourself. Wouldn't you like to be in a business where you could dictate exactly how you know, go up in that company?
I guess so.
Yeah. And then on top of that, have the opportunity to own that business. Right? That's what this is about. That's what we do.
All right, well, let me check it out.
All right, well, let's take a closer look at it, right, before you say no.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, Hector, you know, my background, I'm an engineer. I've never done any type of sales, so
Mm-hmm.
I can't see myself being a salesperson.
You know, there's a lot of people in our company that said that before they got involved. We have school teachers, we have engineers, we have, you know, people from technical backgrounds kind of like yours, from you name it, you know, truck drivers, you name that probably said exactly the same thing. I don't really see myself as being a salesperson. And that's not an uncommon thing for people to say that. But you're an engineer, right?
Yes.
And what did you do to learn how to be an engineer?
Well, I went to school.
You went to school. You put a lot of energy, a lot of time in mastering the kinds of information and the kinds of disciplines you need to do to be a good engineer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how you did it over time. You didn't learn that in a day. It took you probably at least
Years.
4 to 5 years, right?
Yes.
I don't know how long you know, some people are in the 4-year program, 5-year, 6-year program. I don't know what you did. But you figured it out, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. Well, our business is the same thing, right? You start off, you may not see yourself as being, and I don't think that when you first start, you don't really, you know, you want to be an engineer, but you don't really see yourself being an engineer, right? You have to learn a lot of information. Well, the same thing in our business is people don't see themselves being in this business, but once you learn it, you start finding out, wow, it's not that complicated, it's not that difficult. I can do it. You know, other people like me have done it, and I can show you this book. We have tons and tons of people that have done this, that are like you from similar backgrounds. So if other people like you, who are engineers or technical people, started a Primerica business and became very successful at it, is there any reason why you couldn't do the same thing if you decided to?
I don't think so. I can't see anything.
Yeah, of course you can. So really, I'm not asking you to give up your career right now. I'm saying, look, why don't you give it a shot? Why don't you just check it out a little more in depth, look at it, look at everything, and then make a decision once you really understand it, once you really see it. Instead of believing you're not a salesman, right? And anyways, our business is what I've shown you. You can see that mostly it's educating people anyways, showing people where they're at now and where they can be, and why it makes sense for them to make a decision to go from where they are to you know, some of the solutions we have, like I showed you with the insurance, right? The cash value versus term, or the being in debt versus being out of debt, right? Using that debt structure, or investing money, in fixed rate savings versus investing in equities, right? If you could just explain that to people, and I imagine you're a very bright guy, you wouldn't have any problem explaining people the difference. We believe that people have common sense, and that if they have common sense and you give them all the information, they'll make the right decision. Do you think you could do that?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay, well then that's all it is. That's what sales is. Sales really is this, right? And people have a misconception about sales. Sales is really helping people to make decisions that are good for them.
Okay.
All right, that's all it is. So if it's better for them to do this than that, you explain it to them, how they should do it and why. That's all it is. That's what it really is,
Okay.
And so you would be doing that. So let's go ahead and let's give it a try. All right.
Okay.